So, look, we're in southern China, as usual, in the more rural countryside.
Yep.
And we're talking about the honeymoon period that most foreigners, in fact all foreigners, not most, all foreigners go through when they get here.
I feel like this is an appropriate place to do it, because this is the kind of like, wow, I'm in an exotic place type of feeling, you know?
I mean, you can just, all of a sudden now, just like, look at that. Just,
it's gorgeous.
Look at the view. You know, southern Chinese countryside, a lot of the Chinese countryside is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just look at that.
Yeah.
Rice fields, mountains, you know, beautiful, beautiful stuff. In fact, I think it probably gets even better over this rickety bridge.
Probably.
Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, just look at that. It's gorgeous, you know?
Yeah.
And when you get to a new country, you're suddenly hit by all the things that are different, right?
Right.
I mean, let's just rattle off a couple of the things. I mean, obviously we've just seen the scenery here, but how about a couple more things?
I mean, you got the food, of course.
Oh yeah.
Got the language, takes you out of everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a big part of what this video is going to be about, because when you can't hear people talking, you start to form your own opinions about what's going on around you.
It's a wonderful point.
Yeah, you absolutely have to just be saying, oh, look at that old man. He's probably talking about, you know, philosophy with that other
over a game of Chinese checkers and some tea.
Yes, exactly. Or, you know, discussing something of great import, you know. So you're kind of making up what people are saying in your head, because you don't really know.
That's what human beings do.
Yeah. So you're disconnected because of the language.
Right.
You've got this awesome food, especially as a young man. There are lots of attractive young women walking around.
Yep.
Here in China. And, you know...
Ow.
Oh, yeah, that was a close one. And you're hit with this
with a branch,
sort of all this wonder, you know,
right.
the lights, the noises, the smells, the sights. Now it has to be said that some people are instantly turned off. They can't stand it and they run home within
for sure.
like a
That's
day
not what
or
we're going to talk about, though.
Yeah.
Should we go left or right?
Let's go left. It looks more pikey.
It does. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so
hopefully it's not a military zone.
Nah, I've been through this whole area at some point in the past. So it was all okay. Okay. So you're hit with all this wondrous stuff, and you know, it's all amazing, and you absolutely love it. You're like, oh my word, look at what they eat, look at the snacks are different, look at the food, look at the advertising, look at the, you know, like everything is a wonder and it's amusement.
Right.
And you've got nothing but a positive experience. In fact, there are a couple of new YouTubers in China that you see them popping up every once in a while, and they're
popping all up everywhere.
Yeah, and they're basically
traveling around.
Yeah, they're blowing up, and you know.
I'm glad we're shedding light on the situation.
Yeah, that's
wherever
right.
they may be.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, you'll get these new YouTubers, and they're like, "Wow, China's so amazing! I can't believe it! It's so like, look at this, look at that! It's so beautiful! It's just, you know," and that's very natural. It's totally normal.
Right.
Whereas you get us.
Wow, look at this bamboo forest.
Yeah, that is nice. That is cool.
Meanwhile,
all the huts in there, and then you'll get us sort of older, saltier expats. You know, you and me, who tend to at least appear to complain about everything.
Right.
But
it really ties into the 4 stages we're going to talk about.
Exactly. Let's first of all share the stories about when we first got here. I mean, would you like to start?
Sure. I mean, like, I don't want to delve. We've talked about us first coming here, obviously, but
yeah.
The stuff that put me in my honeymoon period, where I thought everything was amazing, it was to the point where even stuff that was bad I found fascinating. This is pretty cool out here, by the way.
I think I've got a very good example of that. You see these, we were saying, look at these beautiful rice fields. Hang on a second.
Right.
See, there's that old geezer spraying
pesticides on it. Yeah.
Probably very toxic chemicals.
I've been sprayed in the eyes of that stuff. It's not nice.
On these plants. So you're like, look at this beautiful nature. It's so wonderful.
Right.
And yet there's a guy spraying stuff that's poisoning the groundwater and probably going to kill people slowly through cancer. But you know, the thing is, you know, you look at that and you're like, oh, look at this old farmer tending to his crops, you know.
Right.
Shy grass?
No, it's not. It's too brazen. This bamboo stuff is absolutely gorgeous, brother. And then there's trash everywhere, of course.
Yeah, you see, that's the duality of China. You've got the beautiful...
You'll ignore that when you first come here.
Yeah, you'll be like, oh, it's probably just some person disrespecting, but the trash is everywhere. You know, that kind of thing. But it's gorgeous. China's an amazing place.
Right.
Should we go left or right?
I kind of love the left-hand path.
Let's go left. I mean, Yeah.
Go left.
Yeah, life is peaceful there. Okay. Yeah, so you said you were just kind of like even defending the bad stuff.
Yeah,
in the
like
beginning.
I'm talking about like when stuff started to get blocked.
Yeah.
I was just in such disbelief that I was like, wow, I live in such a different country that the government can block websites. Like, that was so exotic to me, you know?
Yeah,
like, wow,
gotcha.
I brag about it to my friends back, and we can't even get on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it
Gotcha.
sounds bizarre, but that's like to the point where you'll get in the honeymoon phase. And everything, like you said, you make up stories about what people are saying, and everything is so cool and amazing. You really feel like you're doing something unbelievably special, and you don't have any inkling that life just might be very similar to everywhere back home, with some minor differences, right? Everything is different and amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at these geese. We've been
I'm looking
attacked
at
by
that
geese.
I just
Dog geese combo. Anyway, that's the first period. So what were you impressed with when you first came here?
well, I went straight into Shenzhen, and you know, being 25 years old, I keep going on about that, but you know, I was younger.
Right.
And just the fact that you had just lights, bright lights, noises, things going on all night, you know. This is so nice out here, dude. This is gorgeous.
Awesome. Look at this. It's like freaking Jurassic Park out here.
It's really
These
beautiful.
vines and stuff.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. So yeah, you know, all this amazing stuff, I was like blown away. Look at all the attractive women walking around, the sights and the sounds and the smells, and you know, everything was so different, and I thought, this is so great, you know, this is where I want to be. It's so different. So yeah, I went through that massive honeymoon period. Luckily for me, I didn't have a camera at that time, because if I had recorded those first few months that I was here, I'd say the first, say, 1.5, 2 months before reality hit me and I ran out of money, I would have made an absolute fool out of myself. I would have been like, this is
My
so
blog
great.
did a good job of that.
Yeah.
Please don't read it.
Oh, you have a blog?
Oh, don't read it.
Okay. But yeah, you know, that's the thing. Everybody does go through that honeymoon period, but then what happens? What's the second stage?
Second stage, and this is, we're talking about culture shock, obviously, right? The second stage of moving to an exotic culture that's very different from yours, because that's, I mean, like, if you're moving to Norway or something, you're probably not going to go through these things as Westerners, but if you're moving to China, you definitely will. Number two is frustration, and frustration is kind of marked by when you're more aware of your surroundings and things, right?
I'm frustrated by the fact that they're destroying all these beautiful forest things by putting up bland concrete houses.
That stuff.
This is not where we want to go. Let's backtrack, because this is just a main road. Yeah, we want to go on there's an X road, this little road that just leads forever. So let's go where we went left. Let's go right.
Okay.
Go left.
Frustration is when you obviously want to fit in, right? So the first honeymoon phase is you're completely taken out of that, and that's welcome for people that want adventure, right? But eventually the human, you know, natural human beings, your normal society, you know, dwelling human beings want to fit in. And when you start to understand some of what's going on around you, things change quite a bit. So some of that mystique is gone. So your language level might be at a point where you can't really communicate with anyone, but you can start to understand what's going on, and you start to hear some of the negative comments, but you can't retort because you're embarrassed because your language isn't up to snuff, and you can't use your native language anymore. Things just start irrationally pissing you off. People cutting you off, the spitting, the buses beeping at you when you're walking on the sidewalk. You getting diarrhea because you've been food poisoned too many times. All of this shit becomes the norm, and the frustration period is when most people leave. And I mean, that's just some of the stuff I'm rattling off that I was pissed off about. What about you?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That frustration period is when you're just trying to do simple things, but they can't be done, and it's very logical, and that's a big thing in China. Like, you just want to get something very simple done, but people just don't understand you.
Right. I don't want to get bitten by snakes or go through mud. That's pure mud.
Let's go back. And you know, when you start to understand some of the, like you said, the language, and you see that the old men are not discussing philosophy, they're just slagging you off, or you know, like talking about the most mundane, absolute nonsense. You know, so it's that part where you just realize that China is a very different place, and it is very exotic, but you know, there are a lot of things that you disagree with, you know, like the way that people treat animals and the way that people treat each other. And
I find a lot of people that wanted to escape their home country start getting like a little bit of pride in their home country at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they realize that things match up to their standards a lot more, and that's the most difficult period. And if you can't hack it into, this is not just about China, by the way. If you can't hack it in a different country at that period, then you know that you probably don't belong traveling abroad.
I'll tell you how I got through my frustration period, actually. Because, well, it was a combination. Number one, I had run out of money, and that was the quickest way for me to see. Because China, and it goes for everywhere in the world, but I think China especially, since money is literally the most important thing to Chinese society.
Right.
If you run out of money, everybody stops being friendly.
Right.
So, you know, yeah, let's go down to the left here. This is where we turned earlier. So, for instance, all of a sudden you can't even afford to take a bus or a taxi. All the smiling faces in the world and all the happiness that you think is around you won't help you get a bus.
That's an interesting perspective.
Won't help you get a meal. Won't help you find a place to stay.
Right.
And suddenly all the sort of hospitality and all the other stuff goes away in an instant. Because if you don't have money in China, you are absolutely screwed. Right. You cannot go begging. You can't, you know, not that I'd ever want to do that, but you cannot rely on people to help you out as much as you do in the West.
Of course. And it's not your country, so you can't get welfare or anything like that.
Yeah. So anyway, I was in a situation where I'd completely run out of money. I had too much pride to ask my parents to send me any money, right? And I was really in dire straits. I was literally starving, and it was a bad situation. I got kicked out of, and I was homeless for a while, but you know, I figured it out. Thing is, what made me stay was, back home, a lot of my friends were saying to me, oh yeah, go to China, you'll be back in 6 months, you'll see, you'll be back. And that's when I was like, nope, I'm not. I'm going to stick it through. I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to give them the satisfaction. And that got me through the frustration period. Yeah. So what is the next phase?
Well, I got through mine by going to Taiwan, by the way, a little pro tip. Anyway,
oh yeah, no, tell us.
No,
how did that happen?
It's fine. I was getting frustrated and criticizing China quite a bit my first year. Went to Taiwan, that all went away. Was fixed right back up and craved China again, and came back and reset the whole process. Moved into Mongolia. But anyway, that's another story. That's beautiful. The third stage, I forgot the third stage was the third stage.
What is the third stage? Isn't that like adjustment or something?
Adjustment, yeah, okay.
Adjustments.
The third stage is when you can actually, wow, it's gorgeous.
It is so nice here.
The third stage is when you can actually look at what's pissing you off and make the adjustments. So this takes some digging deep, and this takes some looking at yourself and realizing that you're probably wrong, not society around you.
Yes.
If you want to fit in, if you want to deal with what's being thrown at you, you're not going to change where you are. You can make a positive impact, but you're not going to change everyone's mind. You better make some adjustments. So usually that means learning more Chinese, learning more of the language of wherever you are. It also means you know, looking at every time you get pissed off and questioning why you pissed off, and maybe realize why they're acting like that. Well, very simple to answer for the beeping and the spitting and stuff. It's not because they're being mean, it's because they're uneducated, right? The people that are doing those things.
For sure.
Where are you taking us?
I don't know, but I'm liking it, except for this crappy place. I hope that there aren't any milk dogs here.
I guarantee you're going to run into some milk dogs.
We got some footage of a milk dog, by the way.
That looks like a milk dog territory, if I ever did see one. This is where they breed them. It's going to come down from the mountain.
This is so, I mean, like, except for the garbage, you know, this is the thing about China. Look at how beautiful the actual, the plants are, you know, they're obviously some kind of orchid
green,
or whatever.
isn't it?
And it looks lovely, and then you've just got like trash. Come on, guys, have a bit of pride in your bloody homes here. Anyway, you know.
That's again, we're talking about adjustment, right? And you're not going to change anyone's mind by doing that, right?
No, of course.
And we understand why things are the way they are, but we if we're going to be here, we can commentate, but we know that at the end of the day, things are just going to go on as they always did.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you? How did you adjust?
Well, you know, that's the thing. For the longest time I understood what was going on, so you know, for me it was more of a finding reasons to stay. And I've always held that as long as the positives outweigh the negatives, you know, I'll stay. And that's pretty much what kept me on the go, and I adjusted slowly but surely. But there is one particular incident that I remember very clearly. Let's go down here just for the heck of it.
I think it just goes to those shitty shacks, dude.
Well, let's try anyway. Okay. We'll be right back. I was in a very bad mood when it came to China. You know, I was having a China week,
having a China day,
China
week.
month, more like
China month. Okay.
You know,
link here.
And I'd taken some subscribers out to go have dinner, and
You're gonna make me have a China day if you keep making me ride this shit.
This is cool, man. What do you tell you? This is adventure. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, no, I like adventure.
Yeah. So anyway, I went to this restaurant, but it was closed, which was really annoying. But I guess we'd arrived just a bit too late, so it was quite a disappointment. So we arrived there, and I'm like, ah, damn it. Okay, well, let's go find somewhere else. And as we were walking away,
what the hell is this?
Some kind of a sha gua. I think it's called a sha gua.
Okay.
Yeah. This is nice up here. Okay, let's go then. Anyway, so as we walked away and we were quite far down the road already, I heard like the pitter-patter of someone running after us. And there was like the sort of manager of the restaurant. She'd seen us because they'd live above the restaurant. And she'd seen us like trying to get in. And she ran down and she said, come back, we'll open up for you, you know. And they, you know, opened up and fired up the stoves, and we had a fantastic night there. And
that's
that was
freaking awesome.
That's just one of the things that's quite unique to China.
Right.
At least I find, you know, it was one of those moments that said, you know what, you know, I can deal with a lot of the shit because the good stuff definitely outweighs the bad. Agreed. So that's pretty much the be all and the end all of it, dude. Is there, by the way, we should get some drone here.
Well, you forgot the fourth stage.
Oh, okay.
The fourth stage is acceptance, and that's very self-explanatory. It's when you accept that you're okay with everything here, and you kind of become one with it.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, you need to find a balance. Yeah. And I hazard to say that there are very few foreigners like ourselves who do this much exploration into China. And, you know, you can get people that go on little paid tours to Shanghai and Beijing, and they go see the Great Wall, and they get taken to fancy restaurants, and they're blown away by, oh, look how sophisticated China is, etc., and see it in this sort of rose-tinted way. And that's just how it is when you first get here. But once you get to see this, you know, out here, the real thing. I hate to say that, the real China, but the balanced China, I should say, because we've seen all the good stuff in the big cities, and we see all of this too. When you get to see everything, you know, have a bit of a reality that sets in. You know, the rose-tinted kind of goes away and it becomes clear.
And that's acceptance.
Yeah. However, if you live in some crappy place, then you don't have rose-tinted glasses. You're just going to have like shit-tinted glasses.
You don't want shit-tinted glasses, guys.
No. But yeah, China is a beautiful place. There's so many good things about China, and yet there are so many bad things too. So it's good to have a neutral kind of look.
And we appreciate everyone that sticks through it. I mean, sometimes we can be down, and sometimes we can be up, and sometimes we show the good stuff and the bad stuff. But that's really the whole point of what we do on YouTube, because there's not a whole lot out there that really goes in fairly and gets their knees, you know, deep in the water and checks it out for themselves. You get shitty news that talk shit about China, and you get foreigners that come here for a short period of time that make sweeping positive generalizations. We don't like to do that. We like to be real. And you know what you guys have done is you followed us on those 4 stages, and you get to see acceptance every day that we film.
And that's the thing is, you know, you look back at my videos, because I've been doing these videos for like 8 years now, right? You can go back to my original, in fact, before my channel, the PSP Traveler. Nice. And you can see me walking around in Shenzhen and Dongmen and places like that, and I'm so amazed, and I think it's awesome, and I'm showing everyone around. And you can see how I've changed over the years. I still love the place, I still love everything about it, but at the same time, I'm just more realistic, and I've dropped the honeymoon phase. So, that's it. Anything you want to tell our subscribers?
It's a bit of a deep episode, but I really hope you guys try to get what we're doing, and I think you do. I think most people do. And you know, whether you are the kind of person that wants to go abroad and really throw everything out the window and try something new or not, I mean, the whole point of life is enjoy yourself. So I implore you to enjoy the video, and if you did, give us a little like and a little subscribe and a little comment. Yep.
And whether or not you're just popping into China for a little bit of travel, or you're here for the long term, you know, we love you all the same. So
even if you're just traveling.
Yeah, exactly. Until next time, you know, stay awesome.